Hello folks, I'm streaming again. I'll just show you a picture of myself. Here I am, and we are leaving Budapest. We're on the way, broadly speaking, towards Vienna, although we're actually going to another location in Hungary later today. And on our way out of Budapest, we thought we would stop at a German cemetery. Now, I've been to German cemeteries, obviously in Normandy, Lacombe and Orgland. Never been to one in this part of the world. And this one here, that's Budapest there, is home to 16,300 German soldiers. The rest of my group are already inside. I am literally walking in here with you for the first time. I was standing outside getting the stream set up, so I haven't seen anything. So I'm going to do a JD style History Underground, kind of having a look as I go through and talking about it as I go in. So you can see the text there. Inaugurated in 2002, so very late, just 20 years ago. More than 16,300 German, almost 800 Hungarian soldiers who fell during the Second World War. A lot of them, of course, in the Battle of Budapest. And this is all we're talking about it here. So very late. The Normandy cemeteries are up and running in the 1950s. Hi, Willie. Foxtrot Romeo. You ever working, Willie? You're just watching for me to do something randomly. And yeah, well, here we are. And as I said earlier, we cannot believe how crazy good the weather is here. It's November and we're in t-shirts. So I will just walk and talk. Couldn't get a more impressive setting in terms of the location. Look at that beautiful sun. That's the Budapest hills there. And we're going off. We might even nudge into Austria later on this afternoon. So yeah, here we are. So I'm discovering this as you're discovering this. So I hope you get something out of it. The question of peace is not a global question, but a personal question for each individual. Karl Jaspers, 1883 to 1969. So I'm going to just walk and look. Now, what's interesting is that in Normandy we get asked, so how many of these guys are SS? And of course, the reality, and in this area, given who is fighting for Budapest, the third SS Panzer Corps, is a lot of the guys buried here are going to be SS because that's just who was fighting here. So I've already come in, and we can already see this is clearly unknown. 2,843 unknown. And I'm looking at the dates there. There's some in 1944, some April, May 1944. Lots of Coversey is what I'm just seeing here. 23rd of November 1944. So that's probably before Budapest. And if I see dates to January. So here, 11th of February 1945. That was the day of the breakout, or part of the breakout. That's the final encircle, the end of the siege of Budapest. So that guy there missing, probably from that. So we've been talking as a group, and we've talked about it on World War II TV so many times. When you get to the Eastern Front, and we've been debating whether or not this is the Eastern Front or is this Central Europe, but for me, from Normandy, this is East, so I'm going to count it as Eastern Front. It's all about the scale. The numbers are bigger. That square we were in earlier, if you watched the earlier live stream, 28,000 Axis troops trying to escape through an area the size of a football stadium. That's nearly as many men who landed on Omaha Beach, moving through one small area. And only 700 got out to fight for the Germans again. The rest killed, captured, wounded. Well, I'm going to keep on walking through. As Darren Little is saying, we just don't see any of the Eastern European cemeteries. Are there any Allied service personnel? I mean, this is the thing is that the Allies here are also eventually the enemies. The Allies here are the Soviets, and the Soviets then came here, and I've been reading about Budapest as I've been staying there. The Soviets liberated probably isn't even the right word, because Hungary had been an Axis ally, and the Soviets come in and claim, let's say they claim Budapest. Now, the next few weeks, 70% of women between the ages of 12 and 70 were raped. Looting was, an epidemic. So, unlike in places like Normandy or Italy and cities like Rome that were liberated, where there was a real liberation afterwards. Here, the Soviets just come in and life is worse, if anything, than it was during the battle in some ways. But I'm just walking around and yeah, I'm learning as you're learning. Absolutely stunning location. So here appears to be another lot of unknowns or missing. Whether they're unknown or whether there's lots and lots of names. Very similar crosses to those at Lacombe or Orgland. Obviously these are new, as I said, coming in. It was only inaugurated in 2002, although the lettering on them is quite faded, although harsh winters in this area here. Wir unbekannten deutsches Soldaten. That's 3, isn't it, wir? 1, 2, wir. My German's terrible. Well, again, I hope you're enjoying perhaps not the right word when we're talking about a cemetery. And as I've been learning, there's no real goodies or baddies in this area. It's just the war was a brutal series of combats between two equally violent, oppressive regimes. This is not the Americans coming through with candy and Coca-Cola. This is the Soviets coming through. In Budapest itself, and to confirm what I was doing yesterday, we did the Battle of Pest yesterday. So Pest, so on the east side of the Danube. Problem yesterday is we were stopping and starting, moving a lot. It was a lot of rain. I did some filming, but not any live streaming. I will put the little bits of film and the photos I took into some kind of Woody's thoughts when I get back home to Normandy. But one of the things we learned there is there's the Jewish ghetto, which was 70,000 Jews crammed in an area. It's like 14 to a room for the 1944, and then lots and lots of Jews, even while the battle was raging, being just taken out and shot by the Arrow forces. The Arrow was the kind of code name for the Hungarian fascist. Think of them like as the Hungarian version of the French milice. So kind of a militia, evil bastards. All these trees, like in Lacombe, each one of these has it's a tribute tree in someone who's missing from the battle. I'll wind the camera down. There's a little plaque here. So someone has paid for a tree in honor of someone who fell. Anyway, what we're saying, when the Soviets liberated, again, that's a strange word, liberated Budapest, the one group of people who survived, who they did treat quite well, were the Jews who'd survived, because there were a lot of Soviet Jewish troops, and they had genuinely been seen as the victims, whereas the Soviets saw the Hungarian civilians as part of the regime they're fighting against. They treated them the same way they treated Axis soldiers, so very little love lost towards the Hungarian population. But the Jews who'd survived the brutality of the ghetto were actually treated slightly better by the Soviets. But I'm going to walk you over here. Another, obviously, huge list of names. There's my travel group: Ross, Jeff, Matt, and Colin. Yes, it is fascinating stuff, Foxtrot Romeo. And we really didn't know we were coming here. We're just following our noses. So just hundreds and hundreds of names of missing. So look at some of the dates again here. So yeah, 13th of December 44. So that's the first couple of weeks of the siege of Budapest. 16th of November. Oh, that's when he's born. 18th of November again. That's the right in the middle of the 101-day siege of Budapest. Just lists and lists of names. I trust the audio is okay. It's not windy. Same kind of thing here you get with it in Normandy is these German soldiers born in 1904, died in 45, so 41 years old. So the older guys, then you get the other guys, 1927, 1944, so he's 17. It's the typical, lots of young Germans, lots of old Germans, because the 26, 27, 28-year-olds have died earlier in the war. And some of these troops who fought here, I mean, Piper fought in the Battle of Budapest. These are guys who come out of the Ardennes. You know, just and when if you're watching this and you're thinking of the Ardennes offensive as being the last major German offensive, yeah, in the West, Budapest is another massive, great German attempt to counterattack towards the Soviets who have been pushing towards Budapest. It's partly about the oil. It's partly about Hitler's hubris of not wanting to lose another big city. And, you know, massive, you know, we're going to do it this afternoon. We're going to talk about Operation Conrad 1. Not probably with a live stream, but maybe. And that was the attempt by the Germans to retake Budapest. Three Operation Conrads there were, Conrad 1, 2, and 3. You can look on WW2TV in the back catalogue and see a show with Doug Nash about that. But here we are again in this German military cemetery just out of Budapest. But I think I will cut things because we've got a lot of driving to do. And although it's beautiful weather, it's 1:30, we've got about not quite 3 hours of daylight left. It'll get dark about 4:15, so we've got about 120 k's to do to be on the banks of the Danube later today between Hungary and Slovakia, where Slovakia is where both Ross and Cable live. Ross and Jeff Cable live in Bratislava, which we're going to tomorrow.
That's the missing. And all that is the unknowns.
Okay, Matt is just confirming that the sorry, say again. Unknowns.
Yeah, that's all the unknowns.
The big.
No, sorry, that's the missing.
The missing at the end there.
Yeah, and all this.
And all these are unknowns.
The unknowns which are in here.
They've got a grave, but not a name. Yeah. Well. Morning, Neil. Right. Well, looks like we're going on. Well, I hope you enjoy these. You know, I'm doing my best. A couple of people say the audio isn't always perfect and they're very quick. Well, you know, I'm on holiday. I'm trying to do this for me. But I'm also trying to give you guys a bit of an experience of what we're doing. And doing it live is really cool, I think. So, I will cut it out there. So, 16,000 German burials. I'll add some more data from Wikipedia or something to the description later on. And but there we are. I'll end it now. This is Paul Woodadge for WW2TV saying thank you for watching here live from a German cemetery in Budapest. Cheers, everybody.
That's a stunning war cemetery, isn't it?
Certainly is.
So did you get the